Hi everyone, I'm Piotr, founder of Stablecoin, and very important topic today I wanted to cover, so how on-chain yield is replacing the bank savings account. So let's look on the market structure first. The credit card APR, national average in US is at 21%, highest in a very long time. And at the same time, the savings APY is at 0.61, lowest also in quite a long time. And that is more than 20 percentage points of a spread, widest spread on record. What is not visible here is that consumer sentiment in US is in the lowest spot in 75 years of tracking. The US households are sitting on almost 190 billion of debt, and the midterm inflation is expected to be at around 4 to 5%. So the math is pretty simple. If the inflation is that high and the savings account are paying us almost nothing, then this is guaranteed loss and not really savings account. Then consumers feel it and they're looking for alternatives. If we're looking at the bank margins, then we see that they're pretty juicy. It's like 3.4%. at the moment, and that's more than 5 times than what they're paying us on the savings account. The problem is that banks can't really share more of those yield, more of the money with us because of the macro environment. So looking at this chart, banks entered a lot of commercial real estate loans back in 2020 especially. There's a really big maturity event happening last year, also this year. Almost 900 billion of CRE debt is maturing this year, and almost 400 billion of that is sitting directly on the balance sheets of the banks. The problem is that they entered those loans when the rates were much lower at 1.5 to 2%. But most importantly, the prices of real estate dropped from that time. So banks are sitting at the moment at around 300 billion of unrealized losses. And if they would like to operate as intended under the Basel III regulation, they need to hold enough of equity capital on their balance sheet. So they need to build healthier balance sheets, they need to just save more money, and because of that, they can't fight with each other and share more of this yield with users, with depositors. So have we ever had kind of like similar situation? Kind of. So in 1982, MMFs hit the market. We've seen a lot of outflows from savings accounts at banks, and they've been captured by MMFs at around 220 billion. Banks reacted very fast because back then the balance sheets were much healthier. They launched MMDAs, so money market depository accounts, recaptured most of those outflows and even more, around 300 billion in just 3 months. But today's situation is different. So banks are in much worse situation, and the threat is much bigger. Federal Reserve is expecting that there's going to be $1 trillion migration from the banks to the stable coins. And because of that, banks will have more than 1.3 billion capacity for lending. Because of that, we can say it's not anymore a niche crypto story, but really big macro event. And something like this never happened earlier. So Jamie Dimon said something very important in his latest letter to shareholders in April, that the whole new set of competitors is emerging, and that of course includes stablecoins and other form of tokenization. The fintechs, the TradFi banks already seen that. Banks are frozen, and this is providing us in the fintech space, in the crypto space, with really big opportunity to capture that. So if we look at the payment railways, they've already been changing from the old architecture to being settled on-chain. PayPal PUSD reached more than 4 billion in deposits over a very short time. When we look at fintechs, the Robinhood Gold Cash Sweep account is paying 3.35% APY. That's more than 5 times national average in US. It's pretty similar when it comes to Europe and Revolut. And I believe that we at Crypto were positioned really well to capture those users' needs, because we are building neobanks from scratch based on those crypto railways. And in the recent months, we've seen more than 100 of those companies coming to the market, from like Plasma One, AnomaPay, EtherFi, you probably know quite a few of them. And the yield in their cases is generated totally different than how it's generated on the TradFi side or at fintechs. First way normally is to do that through vaults, and the problem is with that is that they need to hire a risk curator to manage the funds, perform some underlying strategy, but curators take no responsibility for the funds if in most of the examples. And we've seen some blow-offs in the recent months. Depositors been left on ice, unfortunately. Second way is lending, but the problem here is that the yield concentration is very narrow. It's mostly running on leveraging of two assets, and if either of them would wobble, then once again depositors would be left on ice. We've seen problems with liquidity or even bad debt within this model. So at StableWatch, we've been working a lot on research and risk when it comes to yield-bearing stablecoins or yield-bearing assets. And we think that there is a better solution, which is SUSDS issued by Sky. It's currently the biggest yield-bearing product on chain. Fully transparent, you can see what's the backing on the graphic on the right side of the screen. Balance sheet consists of more than 11 bill at the moment. The rate, if we compare it even to Robinhood or Revolut, is pretty competitive, I would say, even for the Western world, 3.6% APY. More than half of the balance sheet is instant liquidity sitting in USDC. A lot of the other assets on the balance sheet, they have very short time to liquidity as well. But what's the most important and what excites neobanks and any kind of platforms, wallets maybe, would like to integrate this asset is the very clear and easy to understand risk framework, which is based on Basel III regulation, so the same regulation which is pushing banks now to accumulate more capital. So in this scenario, there's almost 200 mil of this risk capital. It's easy to understand what's the waterfall of losses. There's junior tranche, mezzanine, senior one, and some side pocket. And once again, it's very clear to understand what's going to happen when something wrong will appear. And up until now, it was not that easy to integrate SUSDS into your product. And at Osero, we've built our first product, Osero Earn. Around that, it's 10 lines of code, so super seamless integration can be done in our and put into Neobank or wallet. Some first use cases went live last week with AnomaPay, for example, where you can get your yield fully private for such a use case. In crypto, I believe. And at the moment, 250 bill of stablecoins are no yields in any space. And if we think the same as Federal Reserve, that there are going to be trillions of migration into stablecoin market, then it's a very big opportunity. So if you would like to talk about that, you can hit me on Telegram. That's the upper QR code. I promise I don't install malware on your device. If you're interested in the data and the whole picture about our thesis around this migration, we've prepared the full report. You can see that if you scan the bottom QR code. I also got some physical copies, so you can catch me and grab one. Thank you very much.